Build One South Africa leader Mmusi Maimane is in KwaZulu-Natal to unveil the party's provincial leadership. Among other activities, he assessed efforts to rebuild Durban following last year's deadly floods. Now, national government set aside millions of rands to help affected families and repair damaged infrastructure. To unpack this further, we're joined now by Ntokozo Biyela, the leader of Build One South Africa in KwaZulu-Natal. Very good evening to you. Thank you so much for your time. Talk to us about what happened in KZN this afternoon. Of course, we know that KZN itself has been under the spotlight. I mean, as you and I speak, about 15 people or so have been killed within the past 4 days. Speaking to the big concern around crime in KwaZulu-Natal.
Yeah, good evening to you, Mpo, and good evening to your viewers. Yes, indeed. Today we launched we actually unveiled the Provincial Council of KwaZulu-Natal, BOSA, of which I'm the leader of. We have about 10 members in the council. They come from diverse backgrounds. So what we make sure is that we balance the gender. We also make sure that racially we are a representative council. So for us, what we want to do as BOSA KZN is to kind of come in and give our residents in KwaZulu-Natal an option, but also to bring a new vehicle, because when I do, give an analogy of what's happening in the country or in KwaZulu-Natal, I could say that, use the analogy of a Titanic, that we're actually sinking as a country. No matter how many times we try to rearrange the chairs, the ship is going to sink with us. But what we are doing and coming in to do is to give a fresh perspective, and also to give the people of this province a new chance or a new lease of life.
Yeah. So when it comes to the very dire issue of crime, I mean, in trying to give people a new lease on life, how are you hoping to tackle that?
One of the big ideas that we have is we want to galvanize communities to stand together and form, a stronger community policing forum, and also engage private security who are going to work hand in hand with community leaders and the community policing forums, then liaise with the South African Police Service. I believe that if we do that and form the chain, we'll be able to break this curse of a spree of killings in KZN. Indeed, it is a worry to all of us that almost every day we see shootings. I mean, we see videos of people carrying AKAs and just shooting, at random, people being trigger happy. But also, it's a sad affair that one of the most revered artists was killed in KZN, in Durban in particular. So we want to make sure that we galvanize communities. We can beat crime if we work with the communities.
Yeah. Build One South Africa's first provincial launch since its national launch was in the Eastern Cape. At the time, we know that Mmusi Maimane said that the reason he went there first is because the Eastern Cape is saddled with the most socio-economic issues. I mean, in looking at those aspects, at the reality on the ground, how are you hoping to intervene in KZN if you have to assess the province's socio-economic issues?
Yeah, I think what we need to do is to create jobs for especially the youth. My background is I'm an entrepreneur. I've been an entrepreneur for 18 years, and I specialize in entrepreneurship development, and I've grown a lot of businesses. I've also built a few businesses myself. So I think if we engage with the unemployed youth, the unemployed graduates, and everybody who is seeking a job, I mean, we have quite a number of retrenchments that are going on in the country. So the best thing that we can do is to upskill them with entrepreneurship skills, and just to make sure that people can actually fend for themselves and to eke a living of whatever is left of our economy. So mine and the team is to make sure that we crisscross KwaZulu-Natal in all the districts, the municipalities and the wards. We give free entrepreneurship training sessions to the youth so that they have a chance at making it in life.
And who else are you hoping to target as you go out with your bold messaging?
we are targeting mainly the youth because they are the biggest voting bloc, and I think they can make quite a huge change in next year's elections. But what we are also trying to do is to target independent candidates, and we welcome all independent candidates to come and join us under our umbrella and register on our website so that we can be able to become the vehicle that takes them to Parliament, whether it's provincial legislature or national assembly. But also, we want community leaders that are going to be chosen by the communities. We're not going to impose anything on the communities. We need all these civic organizations and the community leaders to come on board, but we are giving out a call to the youth to come on board. We need the youth. We need to change that National Assembly to stop it being, a retirement center so that the youth can get a chance.
Yeah, as you speak about elections, we know that looking at the past few years, the trend when it comes to young people actually going out to make their mark or register to vote, that in itself has been on a downward spiral because young people are saying they're feeling isolated. They don't feel like politicians relate to their issues. How then are you hoping to bridge that gap?
What we're going to be doing is we need to get closer to the youth. We'll be going to all the tertiary institutions in the country, but more especially here in KZN, to all the tertiary institutions to hear what the plight of the youth are, because we need to listen to the youth, hear what their issues are, then bring solutions to the youth, not because we have solutions for them, but they will tell us how we can go around doing that. But I think the most important thing that we need to make sure that the youth do is to register, before the 2024 elections, just so that when we get to next year, they'll be able to vote. But they need to be part and parcel of the National Assembly, part and parcel of the provincial legislature. And I'm making sure as a provincial leader that in my team, the provincial council, I will make sure that I get youth to be part of the council. I get youth to lead in the different districts and the municipalities. So I'm waiting for a call from all the youth in KZN who want to lead and change this country to come on board.
As you assess the political climate, especially in KwaZulu-Natal, where do you think your gains can be made, just looking at the current situation?
The politics in KZN is a bit of fragmented at the moment. We see that a lot of parties are bleeding. People are disillusioned. Our focus is not so much to try and convince people from other parties to come and join us. We've got a good pool, I would say, of about 2-3 million people that are disillusioned by the state of the province, who would really, really love an alternative. And that's what we're offering as BOSA, and making sure that people get a fighting chance. KZN is a beautiful province. I mean, we could easily become, the leading economic hub in this country if we do things right. So that is what I'm actually looking at, just to make sure that we get all the professionals on board, we get the community leaders on board, so that we can make KZN tick.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much. Let's perhaps leave it there for now. That was Build One South Africa in KZN, speaking there to Ntokozo Biyela.